my biggest shift for myself and coming to this place of grounding and peace and forgiveness for all that's ever been, and being able to embrace now every future experience I'm ever faced with. I look at it so differently now because I get it. I get it, this dysfunction, the depth of this dysfunction, how it's just so deeply embedded and ingrained in this way of life, the way we all exist, the masks we all wear, these false identities that, we walk through life believing that we are these people, but it was written for us. When we're children, we have no control of that, and I understand this completely. It's making peace with that and understanding that you don't need to take on behaviors and blockage and limitation, the baggage. We don't need to take that on from the people that, we witnessed growing up, from the situations that tainted us growing up. We can release that and let it empower us just by understanding that all those experiences, those negative dynamics, the traumas, all of that is there to grow us, so we can actually learn what it is and how to recreate ourselves to bring in the life experiences that we wish to live through, and it doesn't mean that we get to decide how they come into our life, but when you make peace to a certain degree of being able to embrace every experience that comes your way, you no longer are held in a cage, in a prison to your past, and you no longer are held in a prison toward your future, because you just allow things to come into play, and you start to take the good lesson from everything. So even if it's a not so nice experience, you won't see it the same way anymore. It won't shake your core foundation anymore, because you know yourself and you are able to walk a straight path with integrity. Your belief system will be so rock solid. You know yourself, and you know that you are imperfect, and it's a beautiful thing. We are not our flesh. We are not our experiences. We are not what this life has molded us to be. We get to rewrite this every single day. When we are, when we open up our eyes in the morning, you get to create whatever experiences you wish. Well, the undertone at least. Not the outside, how it looks, fine. I've accepted a long time ago. We don't get to bring in specific look of, the outside superficial world, but we do get to manifest for ourselves the undertone energy that comes from experiences, just by shifting our perception on how we look at our experiences. This path of healing, it never ends, and we get so caught up believing that, like what I've spoken about, that we need to hit this certain point before we can say, oh, I'm worthy now to live with joy in my heart. You're worthy right now in this moment. Your way you hold yourself, especially, like, this is to show you the impact we have, right? Especially if you're a parent. I really want to emphasize on this. If you are a parent, you are molding these humans, these new human beings in this life. You are creating the future by how you hold yourself, how you walk through life, how you step forward becomes the way your children will step forward. If you want to make a difference in this world, please understand you're never too small to change this world. It starts with how you step forward, especially if you have these innocent beings that come through you. They're going to determine the outcome of the whole future one day, and then pass on and pass on and pass on for every generation to come. It takes you, that one person, you create the domino effect of how things are going to shift. Really, it is that impactful. So please, step forward with intention, because the way life's going, you know, we don't get to control the bigger picture of it right now. I don't believe that. That's why I don't believe in fighting anymore, because I used to be very passionate about, you know, standing up for injustices and stuff. But, you know, it's very hard to see a positive effect when you're going into something with a battle, like a war zone. You are feeding, seriously, the same energy into a situation when you feel you have to fight for things. Instead, you know, heighten your energy. Inject love into the situation. Start to love your life. Start to forgive the past. Forgive all the corruption in this world that's taken place. Because when you do that, you know, you're able to seriously shift or turn this wheel, the way that the direction of this life has been, you know, playing out, that you see in the world is so toxic. It takes each of us, the more the better. Each individual who chooses to work on themselves has such an impact in the dynamic playing out around them, you know, the people who are watching us. And, you know, it may be even just, you know, one person. Who cares? I keep talking about this. You don't need to have a massive impact. You don't even need to know if you have an impact. But know this, when you shift and lighten the load and let go of all the baggage that you have, you know, lugged around behind you, constantly living in this repeat cycle of negativity, you really do shift the dynamic of the energy frequency that you sit in, you know, and this is powerful in its own right, just on its own. You know, for me, I look at my children and I think to myself, why would I inflict all the hardships and the mentalities, those negative perceptions that kept me stuck and bound, you know, in this cage, you know, that I lived in for many years? Why would I inflict that once I'm aware? No way. Once you become aware that the healing journey, it never ends, you instead start to be resilient to what comes your way, and that resilience passes on to our kids naturally. It passes on to the people that are closest to us naturally. You know, it makes them have to look at themselves when you can look at yourself. We should never point the finger at another person and try to make them and force them to see, you know, flaws in them. We need to stop doing that, because even though this world says it's okay, it's cool to make mistakes, it's not true. People don't, it's the biggest lie. It's fake. It's fake. Make a mistake. I dare you to. Make a mistake. Step wrongly. You may get people tell you, oh, it's all good, but they will talk behind your back. I can guarantee it, because this is the toxicity the world has been built on. You know, people sit there going, oh, mustn't judge, must be kind. But please tell me, please, like maybe they are forgiving in one area of their life, but there's so much judgment placed on everybody from the outside world, from just the dynamic of the closest people to you. They judge you. You know, this is what this world has been based on. We are like meant to feel like we're got to be perfect. We've got to, like, you know, walk through life untainted. You know, like if you are somebody who can offer advice, you know, and you are good at, like, even if you carry a role, a title of being somebody who guides others into, like, a counselor, a therapist, whatever it is, these people are under the most pressure, because it's almost like they're not allowed to be human. You know, they're not allowed to have these human traits of having good days and bad days. We're all going to face that constantly. But when you understand that it doesn't define you for good, and release the judgment of having to live up to people's expectations, it truly frees you. You need to forgive all the imperfections in yourself in order to forgive all the imperfections in others. You need to truly forgive yourself. You need to truly lose judgment on yourself and release that, and not care if the tainted people, because they are usually corrupted and tainted in their own right, if they can place harsh judgment on you. Let it all go. Who cares what people think of you? If you know yourself and you are rock solid in your foundation and you walk through life with integrity, it does not matter what people say about you. You will keep walking your direction. and it really does have the power to shift this world. And I do think that this is seriously how healing on a world scale takes place. And I think that's what's very much needed. So the more we can offer, being vulnerable and sharing our experiences with each other, the more chance we have to shift this dynamic that's so imbalanced in this world right now.